Welcome to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 91. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from the previous games from the previous day. How are you this April 1st, Thursday, Ja?
My bad. I think I gotta go. I'm not gonna be able to do this, man.
I was just thinking in my head, I said, please don't do a corny joke. Please don't do a corny joke. And then lo and behold, he did a corny joke.
Yeah, I think something happened, so I gotta go. I'll be right back. So sorry. I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. April Fools!
You never failed to amuse me.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, hope you're having a good day. Hope you will have a good day. Yes, it is April Fool's. It is April 1st. Don't get fooled today. Or don't I guess fool. But a lot of basketball action from last night. Good lengthy lineup, a lot of good games. So let's get into it. First, starting off with the Dallas Mavericks going up against the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown did play this game. Yes, Jaylen Brown's first game back in a minute. He needed let's just say that how do I put this? They needed more than just Jaylen Brown in that first half.
Yeah.
So to speak. Because their offense was not the Celtics offense that we know to be. They were really struggling. They couldn't get into rhythm. Some mistakes. And on the defensive side, they couldn't stop the Mavericks. I mean, the Mavericks it's feeling like they had all the weaponry, all the firepower, all the energy. And they got to a big lead in that first half. And leading into that third quarter, I mean, they were up. The Mavericks were up by like 20.
Yeah.
They were up big, double digits. And then the fourth quarter hit. And the Celtics, led by Tatum, led by Brown, started to bring them within striking distance. A big run by the Celtics team, almost similarly to the Pelicans game.
Exactly, yes.
In which they went on that 13-0 run, yes. So they went on a big run, and they got within single digits. I believe they got within 6 or 4.
I believe it was 98-104, so 6.
Yeah, they got within 6 after being down double digits against this Mavericks team. And then Luka and the Mavericks and some good defensive stops, key defensive stops. Matter of fact, actually, I'm going to talk about that. Some key defensive stops, and it looks like, okay, they got to ride off. They got to finish this game out. But then, correct me if I'm wrong, Celtics hit a shot, got a steal, got a putback, and next thing you know, they're down by 2.
Yeah, I believe, they're down by, it's either 2 or 3.
No, they were down by 2. It was 109-107.
Yeah, okay, yep. Mm-hmm.
They were down by 2. But after getting the foul, they couldn't hit. Marcus Smart went to the line. He made one, try to intentionally miss one. To no avail. As a result, it was the Mavericks picking up the win, surviving the Celtics.
Basically said it all right there, partner. First half, the Mavericks looked like they were just going to run away with this game. Luka was doing everything, and again, they're a really talented offensive team. I know, they have had inconsistent years, basically, especially early on, but they're still a talented team that could give a lot of teams problems on the offensive end, and they showed out. But again, with the Celtics team, it's just they always find some way to pull back into it, but yet the thing is they could just never convert it into a win. We saw it last game, and we saw it again this game, in which they pulled back in. They came back after having their backs against the wall for so long. And when they get that opportunity, it's just like they go for the striking distance, and things just don't go in their favor, because there was a lot of shots that they couldn't have, that when they were down by 6, they had a lot of good opportunity shots that they couldn't have made, but yet it just never went in for them. But great defensive play, by the way, also that you talked about. Great team effort right there to steal the ball from Richardson, because Richardson threw it away
Yeah,
right there. And then
Tatum stole it.
Yes, Tatum stole it. Good job reading that play. And then even though he missed the layup, luckily Marcus Smart was right there to clean it up. But again, good fight, but it is no excuse. Like, you know what I mean? These have to be wins.
Yeah, Celtics have been on a rocky roller coaster this season.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for them in terms of what they're made of, in terms of their franchise, in terms of the talent that they have, in terms of the front office. They are better than what they're playing at right now.
Yeah, and it gets to a point where you just cannot make any more excuses for them.
Yeah, I'm not going to. As a result, it was the Mavericks picking up the win in this game, and the Celtics are currently sitting at the 8th seed. Wow. Would have thought that coming into this season.
Not me. I had them as championship contenders.
Yeah, you was a fool for that. I knew they wouldn't. But I would have had them playoff contenders, not play in.
I'll get into why the reason why I had them at the end of the episode.
No, I could tell why you had the reason. Tatum, Brown, Walker, Smart.
Yeah, in conference finals for like the last 3 of the 4 years. That's the main reason.
No, 2 out of 3. Oh yeah, actually no, you're right. 3 out of 4. Damn, yeah. I forgot about the last year with IT.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a shame. What a shame. All right, we go on to the next game of the night: the Bucks and the Lakers. Andre Drummond's debut. Of course, no LeBron, no AD, and the Bucks coming in with having lost 3 in a row, so they want to bounce back. But this wasn't easy for this Bucks team. Surprisingly, the Lakers really came out hard. They came out fighting.
Yeah,
you gotta give credit to this Lakers team, who they always come out fighting, even when they're up against a tough challenge, even when they have players hurt or whatever. There's no excuses with them.
Yeah,
they gotta fight. They gotta try their best, and that's what they did. Harrell, Schroeder, Kuzma, them 3 has really been their main point of emphasis.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And yeah, go on. My bad.
I was just saying the main point of emphasis since LeBron went down.
Yeah. Again, I alluded to this so many times. You know what I mean? No Braun, no AD. This is an opportunity to have a challenge. These guys got to step up with those guys out, and as you see, that's what they were doing in that first half.
Yeah, but as you said, that's what they were doing in that first half. As that didn't last the entire game. As the Bucks tailed 2 halves, that second half hit, well, those guys that were behind me, Holiday and Giannis and Middleton, they started going off.
Yeah.
Started going off. Drew Holiday finished 28 on the night. Giannis finished 25 and 10 on the night. Middleton at 17. And basically that second half, it was all Milwaukee. And they take the win.
Yeah, there's not really much to say right there. The Lakers lost their energy, their steam. Andre Drummond went out with, I believe, a toe injury.
Yes, sorry, to not skip over that. Yes, Andre Drummond in his debut goes out with a toe injury. I believe his nail might have come off on his toe.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever happened.
Yeah, so that is painful. So not to say it isn't. He tried to play after that injury, but quickly came out the game and he did not return. So yeah. The Lakers. these injuries kind of been killing them. Had AD been out, then Schroeder was out. When AD was out, Schroeder came back. They finally get some steam after hitting that slump after AD was out. Then LeBron gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, these injuries are killing them. Andre Drummond's not going to miss any time, but it's just crazy how Lakers, been going. But that's how it has been this entire season.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's surprising because I don't think we have seen much of this from them. I know they have had injuries, obviously, but nothing to this extreme point in which now, like, even though they're not fighting, because I feel like they're in a well-secured position right now, like, as one of those top 4 teams. It's just like, it's just like, it comes to shock because we didn't expect it.
Yeah. As a result, as I said, the Bucks do end up picking the win against this Lakers team. All right. News. Not news. Rest of the games around the night. Sorry. The rest of the games, besides those primetime games, like I said, it was a quite lengthy lineup, a lot of good games. So anything that you like go first, anything that you saw, any player performances, anything like that.
First game I would like to talk about, the Knicks versus the Timberwolves.
Of course, you want to talk about the Knicks versus Timberwolves first. Of course, you want to talk about the Knicks versus
Timberwolves. And actually, like your Knicks did really good in that first half.
It don't matter. Matter of fact, I'll go over it. I won't even go over it. I'll just say what happened. The Knicks were up by 18 against the worst team in the league, and the worst team in the league came back and won the game by 1 point.
Well, look at it, again. It's battle. Things like this happen sometimes. You know what I mean? They had a good lead, and I know they squandered it. But they still had a good lead, and there was times where they was actually making another push within that third quarter in which they looked like they couldn't have took it. But yet, once again, they squandered that also. So that's on them. And actually, they were still fighting till the end, right? Taj Gibson got that putback to give them the lead, and then Malik Beasley basically made the game-winning shot.
Yeah, Malik Beasley, welcome back, by the way. He's been suspended, and he comes back, and of course, against the Knicks. He has to do this, and of course, and yes, things like this do happen, but why does it have to happen to the Knicks? We had enough failures for the past 20 years. Okay, I don't think this should happen. I mean, our owner is Jamie Dolan.
He said Jamie Dolan.
So is there any I think that's the worst curse of them all. So this shouldn't have happened. Tom Thibodeau in his Minnesota return against his former team, losing, and the Knicks did have opportunities to win this game multiple times. Randall had a step back, he missed. After a turnover from the Timberwolves, RJ Barrett, the final seconds, had a step back and he missed.
Yeah, and he was fighting for possession of the ball within those last seconds. And but just I believe that's what happened with the turnover. It resulted in the turnover right there. So yeah.
Yeah, but as a result, Timberwolves do end up picking the win. Yes, Malik Beasley is back, finished 20 on the night. Anthony Edwards, possible rookie of the year, 24. Cat 18-7. And they steal a win.
Welcome back, Tibbs.
Next game.
Next game I'd like to talk about is the Heat versus Pacers, and this was actually more of a old school defensive kind of effort kind of game from both sides. The Pacers just
were up big.
They were up really big. They had a lot of energy, a lot of intensity, doing it on both ends. Communication on the defensive end led to communication on the offensive end. Transition points, movement, just get to the basket. Their bigs working. Sabonis, Turner, they were up big. And then, but once again, you're going against a Miami Heat team that is well balanced on both sides. And it's only so long you can keep them down for. As the third quarter hit, they started to make their strides. And you saw that lead that the Pacers had that they were holding on to for so long just start to squander and squander. But yeah, don't get me wrong. As the fourth quarter hit, it was a back and forth. But then the Heat basically started to pull away. They not only did they just take the lead, but thanks to Jimmy Butler, basically a little bit in that fourth quarter, they basically was able to just take the game.
Yep. Duncan Robinson was big time for them as well. He finished with 20 on the night. And this kind of reminds me of their playoff series from in the bubble, in which the Pacers play well first three quarters, and they can never close it out, and they just fall down the stretch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was all the Heat to take the win. Much needed win, because they need some momentum.
Yep. Good job by the Heat. And good job by the Pacers. The next game I would like to talk about is
Don't say good try. Sorry, don't say good try. They've been struggling as well, and they needed the win, and they can't blow leads like that. But anyway, keep going.
That is true. Next game I like to talk about is the Jazz and the Grizzlies versus the Grizzlies. No Donovan Mitchell, and this was actually a really close battle from both teams. The Grizzlies led by their young star, obviously Ja Morant, versus the Pacers that basically with their balanced scoring, but mainly Clarkson. Clarkson was the big scorer for this team. In that game. In both teams was balling out. It was a close game till the end, but the Jazz were able to pull away but there was some possessions in which the Memphis Grizzlies were fighting, especially by Ja, who had, I believe,
36.
Yeah, 36, and he had most of the last bucket points for
the Grizzlies
for that Grizzlies team down the stretch right there. But again, the Jazz team was able to take this win.
Yes, not only Jordan Clarkson, but Bogdanovich was big time as well. He finished with 23 on the night. Mike Conley sticking it to his former team. He was big time. He had a lot of the not only the scoring load, but making plays in the absence of Donovan Mitchell. So he kind of took some of that load and inserted it for his team to help Jazz take this win. He finished with 26. And yeah, just goes to show you how dangerous this Jazz team that they're able to beat a pretty good Memphis Grizzlies team without their best player.
Yeah.
We've said it this whole season, the Jazz are not just a Donovan Mitchell team.
Yeah.
All right. Next game.
The next Devin game Booker. Yeah, basically it was Devin Booker. Well, wait, actually, let's not disrespect.
It was all right. It was a close game. It was a fun game. The Bulls played really well.
Mm-hmm. The Bulls played really well balanced offense from everyone, especially Markkanen, who, believe it or not, I haven't heard much about from this season. I know he has his times here and there, but he hasn't popped out yet. What's going on? Even though he had a good game, I need to see more. I'm on the train. I'm on the train.
Yeah, I know you love that's your guy. Yeah, Lloyd Markkanen, but you want to see more.
Maybe give him time. Yeah, I'm gonna give him time, but it's only so much time he got. That's what I'm gonna say. But
he's in his third year in the league.
Yeah, it is.
So what you mean so much time?
I guess. But yeah, this bull, whatever. Yeah, but yeah, this Bulls, this Bulls team, no Zach LaVine. They were able to keep up with this hot Suns team, you know what I mean? And it wasn't just Markkanen, it was Valentine,
Thaddeus,
of course, Thaddeus. It was just a well-balanced scoring from everybody in that team.
Also, let's call it Patrick Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see the block that he had on DeAndre?
I think I missed that part.
I don't know if you saw. Pull it up, but oh my god, I've never seen an alley-oop block where he takes the ball away from his hand. It was amazing. Yeah. And then he turned the ball over right after that.
On the block attempt or on the offensive end? Did he turn the ball over?
But after he got the block, he turned the ball over.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, but the story of the night, basically, even though the Bulls team was able to keep up, was
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker. A 44, 45,
45
45
season
on the
high.
night. Just doing what he does. Just doing what he does. I don't like, if you know about Devin Booker, this shouldn't come as a surprise. 70 points at the age of 20 years old. This should not be a surprise, to be honest.
And a loss.
You just have to say that, right? You just couldn't give me his props. You just have to say,
I don't know what you're talking about.
In a loss, right? Well, but Devin Booker's a scoring machine. One of the most polished young talents we got in the game. Everything he could do with the ball in his hands is just amazing. One of the best shooters in the game. And yeah, finished with 45 on the night.
Yes, Devin Booker, absolute beast on the offensive end. And despite the Bulls' efforts in trying to win this game without their star player, in the end, they do fall to the Phoenix Suns. All right. And lastly,
the really quickly game, the Nets versus the Rockets. And
yes, the Nets versus the Rockets.
The best team in the league actually started off this game amazingly.
I've covered KD. Keep going.
They started off this game amazing. The Rockets were up by so much in that first half. Double-digit points. Kevin Porter Jr. was just straight up cooking, balling throughout this whole game. And the Rockets had a comfortable lead in which looked like they might pull up an upset. But then the fourth quarter hit. And then Kyrie, being who he is, came alive. And then as a result, that whole Nets team just came alive. Let's just be honest about that. They started coming alive. It became Kyrie, Joe Harris, then Blake Griffin within those moments of the fourth quarter. It turned back the clock looking like he was back in LA. And it was just they just started pushing the ball. They started pushing the ball and they started to show that offense that we're so used to the Nets being like. And as a result, they were able to do a miraculous comeback against this really. Yeah, you already know.
Yeah,
I don't have to.
You don't have to say a thing. But yeah, your press that thing, and that comeback started in that third quarter, where they just flipped the switch and turned the tide.
Yeah.
On this game, and so yeah, and also James Harden, reason why we didn't mention him a lot because he had got hurt, a hamstring injury, some part in that game, and he didn't return.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not serious. Not that it matters because the Nets seem like
they set for life.
Yeah, but that is good. No, not to say that it hurt. Let me retract that statement. James Harden's been having an amazing season. It's going to hurt if he's out, but I don't think he's going to be out for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Well, we shall see. But yes, the Brooklyn Nets do take the win on the comeback against the Houston Rockets of all teams. But anyway, that's crazy. The Nets almost lost to the Rockets, and the Knicks lost to the Timberwolves. Anyway, let's go to the news for last night's. Only one thing, and that is that DeMarcus Cousins has been signed to the Los Angeles Clippers on a 10-day contract. Kind of hurts to say that last part.
Yeah.
Knowing what DeMarcus Cousins used to be. At the end of the day, I like to pick up. I think he has opportunity to prove himself.
Mm-hmm.
If it works out, the Clippers get a big piece. They get someone who can score inside. They get someone who can shoot. He's a good passer. He's a good defender.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of dimmed down all of that things I said in terms of how he used to be. Yeah. He used to be great at all those. Now he's just about okay on some of them, good on others.
He's well. He's well.
Yeah. Hopefully all goes well. Hopefully, they do end up signing him. Almost like what Portland did with Melo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The way the league has been this season with resurrecting, people have been in the dark lately, you know what I mean, Blake Griffin, he was in Detroit. People called him washed. People called him out of it. And then, like, the moment he joined the Nets, you seen what happened. Like, you know what I mean? And now, who else was it? I know there was others, but there's been that kind of resurgence, and I feel like with DeMarcus Cousins being on this championship contending team, he could do a lot of wonders for them, and he could probably excite you nowadays. So
yeah,
it's kind of crazy that, like, from one of the best centers in the league to a 10-day, what a graceful fall, but he's still valuable.
What can you do? It happens. It happens. All right. It is prediction time for tonight's set of games. This is a 7-game lineup, so let's get into it. First, starting off, the Washington Wizards going against the Detroit Pistons.
Washington.
The Sixers going up against the Cavs.
Sixers.
The first primetime game of the night, TNT 7:30. It is the Charlotte Hornets going up against the Brooklyn Nets. The Magic going against the Pelicans.
Magic. Oh, Kiki.
He's like that. But I got the Pelicans. The Warriors going up against the Miami Heat.
The Heat.
Yeah, both teams need a win.
Yeah.
Jeez. I got the Heat. The Hawks going up against the Spurs.
The Hawks.
The Hawks as well. And lastly, but certainly not least, is a rematch from the second round Western Conference, in which one team was up 3-1 and lost the final 3 games to the comeback kids of Colorado, the Denver Nuggets, going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Who do you have?
I got the comeback kids from Colorado.
Denver Nuggets. I got the Ugly Sisters in LA.
You sure? Because last time I remember, the Magic traded away almost like their whole entire team, and yet,
don't do that. It happens. You said it happens. It happens. All right, it's the NBA. It's the NBA regular season. Stuff like that happens. But yeah, I got the Clippers. They also beat the Bucks without Paul George. Blew them out.
Yeah.
So you can't say one thing without the other.
Yeah. You're right.
All right. Yes, I got the Clippers. Well, all right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
No, not really.
I thought you were supposed to. Oh, actually, no.
Yeah, we already.
I already answered.
Yeah.
That already. Well, all right. That being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure you tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And also follow our G down in the description below.
And once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.